DMZ has a new, incredibly hard mission. At first I thought maybe it was the hardest mission, but that's partly because there's a bunch of bugs and stuff, but in this video I'm going to show you how to get through them. The mission is Infrared, and it's the tier 4 story mission for Redacted, so you have to complete it in order to unlock tier 5. And the first time we did this, it just felt like it would be absolutely impossible. There's so much to it, there's so much kind of prep you need to do before you get to it, but honestly, once you follow this guide, you'll see it's not that bad. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, but let's get on with it. Before you go in to do this mission, you're going to want to grab an L2 access card. There's a few different ways you can get it. You actually get one as a mission reward from one of the previous Redacted missions, so just check in your inventory, you might already have it. You can, if you're really lucky, sometimes find it as loot, so that's super helpful. Or you can buy it from the buy station that's in the kind of shopkeeper area in the factory admin part of Koschei Complex. If you want to see how to do that, check out my guide on how to find the secret shop in DMZ. That'll show you how to get it, but do be aware it's $50,000. That sounds like a lot, but it's not actually too bad in Koschei Complex just because there's so much loot laying around that's worth an absolute ton of money. You can get 50,000 pretty easily and buy one of these cards. But assuming you've got one of these cards and you've got a team, I would suggest that you're all geared up and everything like that, ready to go. Assuming all of that's set up, then you want to head into Al Mazrah, like you always do when you're doing a Koschei Complex mission, and you're going to try and find a few items here before you even head to the complex. While you're in Al Mazrah, before you get to the bunker door, and we're going to be using the Rohan oil bunker door, but before you get there, you want to try and find 2 car batteries and 2 sets of jumper cables. If you just find one of each, that's fine, because there will definitely be at least 1 set of jumper cables and 1 car battery while you're in Koschei Complex. But it's usually fairly easy to find them in Al Mazrah. Wherever you are, just try looking for any kind of garages or warehouses, and they're super common items, they're probably lying around. You're going to need these to open 2 of the bunker doors once you're in the complex, so it's much easier if you grab them now rather than having to find them then. Just like the access card, I guess. Like if you've got all of that stuff going in, this is going to be much quicker, and you might even be able to get away with doing it without having to fight any players, which is obviously a bit of a bonus. Once you've got all of this, so you've got your access card sorted, safety in your inventory, you've got all of the armor you want, maybe a self-revive, all of that good stuff, and you found 2 sets of jumper cables and 2 car batteries, then you want to head to Rohan Oil and go to the underpass, which is just this area. It's where the road goes under a bridge. This is the entrance that you're going to be using for the bunker. You'll see on the map there's like a question mark there. That's what you're heading to, but it is underground. The entrance itself is just under this kind of shutter door, this garage door, so you can climb under here. You can actually sometimes find jumper cables and car batteries in this little bit as well. So if you haven't found any wherever else you spawned, you might be lucky. Like just here, you could see there was some jumper cables on there. That makes life a little bit easier. Now, when you head through the hole in the wall to try and get to the bunker door, do be a little bit careful. Loads of times over the last couple of days, we've seen other teams just kind of waiting to go through here, so you can end up having a fight. Just be a little bit careful when you go through, then interact with the bunker door, and that will start the process to travel to Koschei Complex. As an aside, Activision Shanghai did show in a little sort of dev blog type thing they did where they were talking about this, because that's the studio that made this map, that it is called Koschei Complex. If the developers call it that, I'm happy to go with that too. Anyway, once you get into the complex, just search through all of these little side rooms and you're looking for some night vision goggles. You both want a pair of them. You don't need to pick up anything else to get money or anything like that, unless you haven't got an access card yet and you're going to have to go to the store, but that's a whole other thing. Like I said, I do have a video on how to get to that store, but just look around and try and find some night vision goggles and anything like self-revives and armor and stuff like that that you might need. Early on, when you get to these double doors, there's going to be a sentry gun looking down at you, and through this little office, this elevator will open, and there's a bunch of unarmored guards that will spawn in there. Just make sure you take all of them out, because otherwise they can cause you a few problems. But yeah, the sentry guns are a little bit of a pain. You're going to have 2 to fight with just as you go through this bit. Obviously, just use Semtexes, shoot them from a distance, whatever you can. You can see here Flynn's going all the way around the right. That's because there's some boxes in a corridor there that you can kind of hide behind if you just climb up through that hole in the top bit. And the sentry gun won't shoot at you, so you can take it out without worrying about getting hit by it. Once you get past this next sentry gun, in the next room after that, this is where you're going to be able to disable the security system, which is actually the first step of the mission. We'd already done it, so it doesn't step up again here. But basically, there's a computer in the corner of the room that you're going to want to hack. All you do is go press begin upload on it, and it will do the same sort of thing as when you do an intel mission in Warzone or DMZ usually. The progress bar fills up super quickly, and it doesn't spawn any more enemies or anything like that. Do make sure everyone on your team does this, because basically, if you do this, you've then got one attempt to get through the laser maze later on, and then if you fail it, you're going to have to go back and reset it. But it seems to be individual, so like if 2 people interact with that computer then, and then 1 person triggers a laser trap, whoever else also interacted with that computer can have a go at the laser maze. They don't have to reset it between attempts or anything like that. If you do mess up, you're going to have to come all the way back here to interact with the computer again and have another go. Once all the enemies are down and you've got your 2 lots of night vision goggles, then you can go up to the bunker door, and this panel on the right is going to take 1 car battery and 1 set of jumper cables. So make sure you put those in, then open the bunker door. We normally back off a little bit when we're opening the bunker door, just in case there's players on the other side. In this case, Flynn's Comms Vest actually said there were players nearby, so we were a little bit worried. I tried to give it a little scout with the bomb drone, but we couldn't see anyone, so then we could just move through safely. Before you do go through here, make sure you equip your night vision goggles, because this next bit is super dark. But once you go out that door, just go right, and you're going to follow the right hand wall all the way around. It's a fairly simple route to get to the area where you need to. So keep on following this right hand wall. Like I said, watch out for players, because enemy players can be here. And then just past the bunker door, you're going to find another one of these panels. This is where you're going to put the second car battery and jumper cables. Then you can head back and press this switch. This will open this bunker door. When you do this, an alarm goes off. The door takes quite a while to open, so any players nearby will know you're coming here. If you're watching this saying, hey, that camo's very fancy, look at that animated thing with lightning all over it, you can get that by completing the newest raid on Veteran, and I've got a guide on my channel on how to do that. I put that up yesterday, so go check that out if you want this super fancy camo. Anyway, once you go through the bunker door, there's going to be that turret there in the corridor, which is kind of annoying. And then all the way through this next section, there can be an absolute ton of guards. You can see there Flynn giving me the L2 access card. That's just because I'm going to open some doors with it in a little bit. But you've got these very, very long corridors. If you go into the side bits, you can find little bits of loot. I was just looking for a mine or something here that we could put near the entrance, so I would have a little bit of a warning when enemy players started rushing in behind us. Because so many players are stuck on this right now, there's a pretty good chance there could be other people trying to do this at the same time as you. So just a little bit of warning will help you know to set up, turn around, get ready for players incoming, rather than getting surprised when you're trying to focus on the laser maze, which is still the hardest bit of this mission. We haven't got to the hard bit yet. So once you're all set up, just go through these corridors and you'll get to this giant room. Now be careful in this room, because there's a bunch of enemies in here that are all armored. If you go in between the server racks, in some areas there's a bunch of laser trip mines and things like that that can blow you up. If you want to sort of move around safely, it's a good idea to just hop on top of the server racks. And like me and Flynn are doing here, you can kind of climb up onto these walkways and get around a little bit easier. The bit that you're aiming for is on the south side of this. This is called the Alpha Cluster, by the way. So you want to head towards the south end of it, and there'll be a kind of raised platform that has 2 turrets on it. You need to kill the 2 turrets, and like I said, there are a bunch of guards here, which is really annoying. So up there you can see there's loads of doors. There's also a keypad that you can interact with. That's for something else, like a little Easter egg type thing that maybe we'll do another video on. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video about that. But once you get up here and clear out the guards, then you can use your access card. This is what the L2 access card is for, to open these green doors. And do be careful up here. There's yet more enemies. There's going to be some shieldy boys and things like that. More enemies might start coming in behind you. That room that you just passed through, the big one, can be an absolute nightmare. It feels like there's so many places that enemies come through. It's just awful if you have to go back there, like if you end up triggering the laser traps. So make sure you pay attention to the rest of this guide so you don't have to go back through that too many times. Preferably never. So once you go around this corner, there is another sentry gun, so obviously just take it out the same way you did before. Just be a little bit careful. I very nearly died here. Then when it's all clear, you should be able to go around and open up this door on the right, and when you see this room where you've got the computer facing it, this is the laser maze, so you do not want to go in there. Now sometimes, and I think the way it's meant to work, night vision goggles should show you where the lasers were. You can see here I put on night vision goggles, couldn't see the lasers, tried throwing a smoke grenade, because you know in movies they do that so you can see lasers. That didn't work either. I was trying absolutely everything. I've heard some people saying that they used the R4 detector and for some reason they could see the lasers through that. It just seems really buggy at the moment, and I'm pretty sure it is a bug. I think the way it's meant to work is that if you put the night vision goggles on, then you should be able to see all the lasers in here. Now, with this guide, you can actually do this even if you can't see the lasers. I'll show you a route that's very, very simple, but I just kind of wanted to flag up that you should be able to see them. And when you can see them, it looks a bit like this, where you can see if I looked through the other door, I could see them from a long way away, but just not up close. So the idea is that you're trying to get over to a cache on the other side of the room next to that TV screen without touching any of the lasers. If you do touch the lasers, this happens. And then the box that you need to open, which is the one next to that TV screen, will be locked. And if you want another go at this, you need to go all the way back to that computer that you hacked, back in the section that you started in, interact with that again, wait for it to upload, and then you can come back and give it another go. But if you followed my advice earlier and your teammate also interacted with that computer, now they have a chance. Now, if you do trigger the alarms, you can actually just have a little bit of a practice. You can mess around and see how it works, like see where the lasers are, because you can still hear them when they activate. So that works pretty well. And now I can show you the route, which will work to get you through without triggering any lasers. So basically, when you go in here, you want to crouch down as soon as you go in because there is a laser at kind of head height. Then go over to this corner. Don't go too far past here because there's another laser low down, but just go this corner, then jump onto this black box. Then from the black box, you can jump on over to that TV. If you jump too late, it'll hit a laser, so you kind of want to jump a little bit early, jump on the first half of the box, just like this, hop onto the TV, and then you'll be able to interact with the box and open it. So it works like this. This means you don't have to go all the way through the room. You just crouch in, go to the edge of that corner like you can see Flynn doing here. So he hasn't triggered any alarms yet, so it's all still active for him. He goes to that very corner, doesn't go too far to the left, then you can stand up there, but you don't need to. And then you can jump kind of diagonally onto that box, and then from the box, jump onto the TV, and from the TV, you can interact with the crate there, and then it will complete the second objective for you. You need to grab some documents out of it. It's like building 21 evidence or something like that. Flynn also found a self-revive in there, and I'm not sure, there might have been a couple of other pieces. Then you can hop out. He sets the alarms off on the way out, but that literally doesn't matter. And now all you need to do is extract with this DRC proposal. So these are the building 21 documents. You can see there's some text. If you want to read it, you can pause it and do that. And now all you have to do is extract. Thankfully, there is a special extraction in this alpha cluster, so you don't need to go back to the middle bit or anything like that. You can just follow the wall round onto the left. Like I said, if you go round this corner, you can see it on the screen there. It's just 30 meters away. Go up these stairs and then just out through this little archway there, and you'll find an elevator that should be open. There might be a chance that maybe it'll be one of the other elevators in this section, but both times we've been here, it's been this one for us. Then you just need to wait, interact with the elevator, wait for it to come, and you can get out, and that mission is complete. So if you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my streams over on twitch.tv/Geeky Pastimes, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.